Raw at Madison Square Garden is in the books for 2025, and it was absolutely epic. The show kicked off much like it did the previous week in Boston, with John Cena coming out, obviously this time celebrating as the new Intercontinental Championship, only to be then interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. Now, Dominic Mysterio came out and he said, you know what? He wants his rematch. He wants the championship match, and he wants to do it not on his, not on anywhere's turf or anybody else's turf. He wanted to do it in his own turf, which we all know Survivor Series War Games was taking place in San Diego, which is Dominic Mysterio's turf. So Dominic Mysterio laid down the challenge. Cena accepted. We're getting the rematch at Survivor Series. A lot of people originally predicted the match was going to happen at Survivor Series. Instead, we got it at the TD Garden. I'm okay with it. I think this time at Survivor Series War Games, I think it's going to be a better match. A lot of people are saying they're wasting one of John Cena's final matches on just a rematch against Dom. I don't think it's a waste. I think it's another opportunity to tell the story further and to give us a better match than what we got at the TD Garden. Not that the TD Garden match was bad, but giving us just a better version of that match. And honestly, I think Dominic Mysterio is probably going to win back the Intercontinental Championship. A lot of people also think the same. Who knows? WWE could shock us and still have John Cena go into his final match, Intercontinental Champion, but we'll just have to see. And then we saw match 1 out of 2 of the night for the Last Time Is Now tournament, which took place between Solo Sikoa and a mystery opponent. Now, on Friday Night SmackDown, we saw the mystery opponent against LA Knight was none other than Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, which he was. He did come out as Zack Ryder. And honestly, speculations were swirling all around Monday, all through the weekend on who it could be. Could it be Chris Jericho? Could it be Dolph Ziggler? Could it be this? Could it be Theory? Could it be Roman? Could it be Brock? It could be anybody. Could it be Edge, for God's sakes? It definitely was not Edge. But it was indeed the show-off Dolph Ziggler. And honestly, hearing that music, hearing that pop that he got made me smile so freaking hard, man. I was so excited to see Dolph Ziggler again. I used to love Dolph Ziggler. I got into wrestling around 2014, and just in that short amount of time of being into wrestling, I fell in love with Dolph Ziggler and his character and his selling and just his work in general. It was a pretty solid match, honestly. Both guys really had a good showing, and Solo Sikoa winning, a lot of people don't agree with that. I feel like it kind of makes sense, though. Even though I also think having Dolph Ziggler, further on and advance in the tournament would have also made some more sense as well. But I gotta say, this tournament is about bringing up the newer generation, bringing up the newer guys. As we know, Dolph Ziggler is not a newer guy. He's not the newer generation. Solo Sikoa is. Solo hits him with a spike after Ziggler went for a zigzag, pushed him off, spiked him. 1, 2, 3. Pretty solid match. It was fun to see Dolph Ziggler back. Hopefully somewhere down the line he does return to WWE. I know he's with TNA right now as Nick Nemeth, but I'm surprised he didn't come out as Nick Nemeth. I'm glad he came out as Dolph Ziggler. Like I said, it was just pretty cool to see Dolph Ziggler back. And Solo Sikoa, he gets to go on in the Last Time Is Now tournament, and we'll just have to see where exactly that takes him. Then we get into one of the more shocking moments of the night. We have Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And honestly, it was a great match from start to finish. Just seeing the progress that Maxine Dupree has made in just over a year is absolutely insane to see. And the ending was pretty shocking as well. Becky Lynch was hanging on, and she was trying to do everything she could to beat Maxine Dupree, even if it meant getting a little dirty. So she started undoing the turnbuckle to expose the turnbuckle and the metal part of it, and all of a sudden AJ Lee's music hit. Crowd goes nuts. AJ Lee's back on WWE TV, and AJ Lee skips down to the ring, and she costed Becky. She caused a distraction. Maxine Dupree hits her with a crossbody off the second or the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Maxine Dupree actually pinned Becky Lynch to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And honestly, it made me so happy to see Maxine Dupree get a big win like this. And I think it's huge for them to take a chance on her like they're doing by putting her over one of the most popular women's wrestlers in modern WWE history, in Becky Lynch, honestly. So for her to beat Becky Lynch, it was great to see. And Becky Lynch's title reign, it was really good and really good stuff out of it. But I'm excited to see what Maxine Dupree does with it. I don't know how long she'll hold on to it for. I can't see it being a super duper long run. But I gotta say, just for her and just the whole moment itself, being in Madison Square Garden, she had her family in the front row, winning one of WWE's most prestigious mid-card championships is absolutely huge for her. So congratulations to Maxine Dupree. And Becky Lynch and AJ Lee's story is far from over, which we'll get into a little more later on. I can't believe I forgot to mention it, but John Cena did have a match in Madison Square Garden. And I completely forgot to mention it in the beginning, even though it did kick off the show and it was the start of the show. It was a 6-man tag with him, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus taking on Dominic, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. Honestly, typical kind of 6-man tag team match, but it was kind of cool to see John Cena team up with his friends one last time in Madison Square Garden, just having a really, really good old time on Monday Night Raw. You can tell Sheamus and Rey Mysterio loved being a part of it, and that's something that's going to go down in history forever, especially with those two guys' careers. All three of those guys are just legends already. John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is already in the Hall of Fame, so what more can you say about the guy? But anyways, we're going to move on to the next segment. After the Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch match, we then got our second match of the Last Time Is Now tournament for the night. Gunther versus Javon Evans. And honestly, man, I was excited for this match. And then when Gunther made his entrance, I'll say I was disappointed Javon Evans got an entrance while we were on commercial break. But it's whatever. Once Gunther made his entrance, I knew who exactly was winning, and I just had I had a feeling that Javon Evans isn't really going to stand much of a chance against Gunther, because he returned with his original theme, that classic symphony, and I'm so glad they brought this old theme song back. As for the match, it was a good match. Javon Evans is absolutely special, man. He is something of the future, and I can't wait to see the WWE career he eventually goes on to have. I can definitely see him being multi-time world champion, multi-time mid-card champion, and multi-time tag team champion with whoever they pair him with. Like I said, solid match. Gunther beats him. We all knew it was coming. They were not going to let Javon Evans go on and continue in the Last Time Is Now tournament, especially against Gunther and eliminating Gunther. It just wasn't going to happen, especially because Gunther is rumored to be John Cena's very final opponent. So like I said, good match, right outcome, pretty awesome to see. Then we got a segment with the women's War Games teams. Basically, Alexa Bliss comes out to the ring and is asking her how Charlotte could turn her back on her and not team up with her and not be with her in the War Games match. Eventually, the heel women's War Games team comes out, about to start beating up on Alexa Bliss until Charlotte Flair comes down, makes the save, and then the segment ends with Alexa Bliss, Charlotte staring at Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, pretty much setting up that is the War Games babyface, that is the women's babyface War Games team. It's going to be Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte, Alexa, and then we're going to get into the final member here very, very soon, because after that Gunther and Javon Evans, we cut back to backstage and we see AJ Lee being interviewed, AJ Lee and Maxine Dupree being interviewed by I forget her name, but I think it's Jackie Redmond, I believe. But she's being interviewed, and Jackie's like, "Are you going to stick around?" And AJ Lee answers the question by saying, Becky Lynch has lit a fire in her that she didn't even know she had anymore. And then all of a sudden, not Becky Lynch, but AJ Lee's looking off to the side, and it's Rhea Ripley. So we pretty much already know where this is going. AJ Lee is going to be the 5th member of the War Games team. It's going to be AJ Lee, Becky Lynch joining the heel team, AJ Lee joining the face team. We're going to get the whole face-off again as Survivor Series War Games. And honestly, I see this match going as far as all the way to WrestleMania. I could see these two women absolutely running it back at WrestleMania, which I am not opposed to. Some people might be, but I definitely am not opposed to seeing it. So next week on Monday Night Raw and even Friday Night on SmackDown, we'll just have to see how everything plays out. But I guarantee you that's where they're heading with this whole tease. And then we get into the whole ending of the show, which honestly, the ending felt a little rushed to me because they had to cut it off the air before really the whole, climax of everything could happen. But we had the Vision coming out, basically calling out the men's babyface team. And then one by one, the men's babyface team comes out. We get CM Punk, we get Jimmy, we get Jay, we get Cody. And then we're just waiting on that fifth member. But as the teams are brawling and CM Punk ends up taking out the rest of the Vision and babyface team ends up taking out the Vision, we hear Brock Lesnar's music hit, and CM Punk just looks scared as hell as Brock Lesnar comes marching down to the ring, gets his hands on Punk, throws him around in the ring, and then we see the credits from Monday Night Raw, the executive producer, Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, and then all of a sudden we hear the Tribal Chiefs theme song. Roman Reigns comes out to a massive, massive pop, starts going at it, ducks a clothesline from Brock Lesnar, nails him with a Superman punch, and then we get a whole team brawl, which was just absolutely insane. And they'd even involved the New York City Police Department, and it was just insane to see, honestly. And then Raw ends up going off the air with Roman Reigns spearing Bronson Reed and part of the police department through the barricade and by the timekeeper's area. And then after Raw went off the air, we actually saw footage from fans and body cam footage where basically CM Punk ends up, beating the crap out of Logan Paul. Jimmy and Jay hit a double super kick on Logan Paul and then a 1D on Braun Breaker. Cody hits a Cody Cutter against Drew McIntyre, putting him through the announcer's table. And then CM Punk and Roman Reigns had an exchange of words, basically saying, if you do this and you stab me in the back, you're going to regret it. Roman says, I won't stab you in the back. I'll stab you right in the chest and I'll look you right in the eyes. Good stuff. Honestly, makes us all hyped for Survivor Series War Games. I know it made me hyped for Survivor Series War Games. I don't know if I'll be able to watch the show fully. We'll just have to see, but I will try and get a review out as soon as possible after the show. Great episode of Monday Night Raw. All I can say, really. I had off yesterday, or I had off on Monday, so I was able to watch the show. Tuesday, I was just a bit busy, so I couldn't get to do a review until today. But I really enjoyed this episode. I'm sure everybody else did. If you didn't, just comment down below what you didn't like about it. But if you did, comment down below what your favorite part was about it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.